just to close, can we just do like a Q&A, which is some
Yeah.
very basic things,
Sure.
but some quite, things about you as a person.
Yeah, sure.
What's your favourite drink?
Coffee.
And favourite food?
Lamb. Lamb, I suppose.
Movie?
Movie. Man Who Would Be King. I saw it recently. Beautiful film.
And favourite book?
Best story ever told, Count of Monte Cristo. Amazing story. Have you read it?
Yep. And
Amazing
Jeffrey
story.
Archer just brought out what is a novel based, on that
I see.
that story. So you can read that as well.
I'll leave
Prisoner
that to
by
you.
Birth.
I'll leave that to you. I love the story. It's just an extraordinary
Have
story.
you read it more than once?
No, I haven't. I read it recently. It's not something. I read it sort of 6-7 years ago. But it's such a compelling story. I envy people who haven't read it yet.
Your prized possession?
I've got no idea. Where's my prized possession? God, I'm superstitious. So I have lucky objects.
What is your lucky object?
I have a piece of amber that my father gave me, which I keep. I think it brings me a bit of luck. And I'm very super. I have millions of these things given to me by my children. I have all kinds of things.
Where is the amber from?
I don't know its history at all. It's just a possession that he had, which he passed on.
When did he give it to you?
Gave it to, I forget. I forget when he gave it to me. But he gave it to me clearly. I don't know. I don't remember when he gave it to me. Something I've had for a long time.
What is the happiest day of your life so far?
Well, it's a cliche, but when my first child was born, you don't get better than that. It's an extraordinary thing.
And your saddest day?
Probably when my father died. I've been blessed with not too many sad days in my life, not too many tragedies. I think this was exactly that.
What is your biggest regret?
I don't have too many regrets. I'm sure there are regrets if I thought about it, but I can't think of any regrets.
Have you ever taken any drugs?
Well, I have taken very soft drugs in my youth. Yes, I did. I was involved in a controversy at school for exactly that reason. So I would love to be able to deny it, but I think politicians ought not to deny things. Not that I'm awful term politician. I don't like to describe myself as a politician. But as someone who's moving towards a more formal role in politics, it's probably not a good idea to lie.
Can you, in a nutshell, just for the record, just explain why you were expelled from Eton?
It's public record, I think.
Yes, but public record, but you've contradicted a couple of things on it.
No, I don't. Have I contradicted?
Well, if I was...
I don't think I've ever spoken about it, have I?
Well, no, you have to me.
Have I?
No, I think you've said that you didn't... It was for cannabis possession, but you said it wasn't yours. Is that right?
Oh, I never put up a fight at the time. No, actually, the truth is...
If I can ask you
I
again...
hate going into this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not very interesting. But the truth is, it was one of the few times in my life I was innocent. And but there was no point putting up a fight at the time. I was never actually expelled, in effect I was, but I remember talking to the headmaster. No one ever said you're expelled, but it was such a routine thing in those days at school. You didn't need to be told you were expelled. When I went back to the school quite recently, I gave a speech there, and I spent quite a lot of time with the headmaster, who is now the provost. And it was an extraordinary experience, actually. Amazing place. It really is an amazing place, that school.
Mm. What's your best quality?
No idea. I'm a campaigner. I think that's useful. It's useful to be a campaigner. When things are wrong in the world, you need campaigners. That's something that's potentially useful.
And if there's one thing you could change about yourself, what would it be?
God knows. I don't think it's very useful to spend too much time wondering about these things. You get on with it. I can't think of anything. No, I can't answer that. I'm sure there are plenty of details, but I can't think of anything very dramatic or interesting to say.
What's your greatest indulgence?
Horses. I love watching the races. I don't do much of that nowadays, I haven't got time, but I absolutely love watching. I could easily spend a lot more time watching the races than I do now, as I used to when I was much younger. Yeah. And betting on the horses.
You're quite a gambler.
In my heart, I'm a gambler, but I don't have much time to gamble nowadays. But absolutely. I love betting. There's nothing nicer than betting on a horse and watching it come home. It's one of the great highs in life. Much better than any drug that people could take.
What is the single piece of wisdom that you pass on to a child?
that I would pass on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there is a single piece of wisdom. I think you want to stay. You want to be. I think integrity is the key. I think that is the key. You don't want to try to squeeze yourself into an inappropriate box. You want to do what's right. You do whatever you can do. Everyone can do something. It's different for different people, but everyone can do something. Everyone can contribute. I think someone who lives a life without contributing to making the world in some way a more interesting or better place, I think they probably wasted an opportunity.
Do you pray?
No.
What do you think happens after death?
What do I think happens after death? I don't know. I think life is I think the natural world is a pretty extraordinary thing. It all fits. There's never a moment where I'm not amazed by the workings of the natural world. And I think anyone who grows up on a diet of David Attenborough and sees some of the magic of the world as he puts it forward in a way which I think is extraordinary, and for which I think we should all feel totally indebted. It's hard to imagine that the end is not as magical and extraordinary as the process itself. I mean, it just, it works. It works. So, but what happens afterwards, well, God knows. You have to wait and see.
Do you believe in God?
I think there's a magic in the world. I don't know what you call it. I'm fascinated by religions. I'm fascinated by Islam. I'm fascinated by Judaism, which I think is an extraordinary process. I love the rituals, the ritualistic side of Judaism more than anything. I love that it's so complex and exclusive. I think it's an extraordinary phenomenon. But in terms of my own view, well, I think there's something very magical in this world. I don't know what it is. The easiest thing to do is to call it God. What that actually means can mean any number of things.